sent that to you, right? It's not like a thing that everyone can see, right?
He could have sent that to multiple people,
Right.
but that snap got to my phone because he clicked my name.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's the end of the story.
So he shot his shot. From half court.
There's just a lot of absolute nonsense.
Jason Campbell basketball jersey nigga, what? Welcome to the Any Last Words pod. My name is Keon, aka Almighty the DJ.
And my name is Earl Lonnie Hooks. A very, very special thanks to everybody that will be joining us today on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube. And please do not forget to follow us at ALW Pod on Instagram. The God in me honors the God in each and every one of you. OG Pod.
I'm Mike.
So I do want to talk to you about Polo.
Yeah,
I do want to talk to you about Polo.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
But before I get to Polo, I would just like to express something first.
Okay.
I was at the gym 2 weeks ago. And I was getting my stuff together. I was getting dressed. I was getting ready to leave. I was packaging all my stuff back in my little knapsack. And this guy rolled up on me. He was a light-skinned guy. He sort of not quite as handsome as Mo, but he sort of looked like Mo.
Okay.
Right, with like his skin shade, possibly his origin.
All right.
and he looked like he probably listens to Drake.
Okay. Don't they all?
But anywho, so I was about to leave, and he was like, "Hey, is this your tie?" I was leaving my tie in there, and it happened to be my favorite tie. I left it like in the locker,
like for work.
And he saw it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, how did the tie? Okay,
well, because I was getting
changed your clothes.
I changed my clothes in the gym.
Gotcha. I'm used to just going to the gym and just having my shit on, but
I usually do that, but now that I started wearing different clothes, you know, I just started bringing my knapsack, my gym bag. Anywho, he's like, "Oh, this is your tie, right?" I was like, "Oh, damn, thank you very much for that, man. I was about to forget my favorite tie." And then he's like, "Hey, man, how often you work out?" So I don't know. How do you feel so far about this interaction? Nothing too crazy?
No, yeah. So far, it just seems like one, he looked out for you.
Okay, yeah, right.
And two, I guess he was just curious. You know, maybe he thought, you know, you look good. Maybe he was like, how do I get like that? What's he doing?
Okay, so all right. So, I mean, okay. So I tell him, for me, like 3 days out the week, strong is really good. I usually take some fourth day for recovery, or I'm just stretching or foam rolling, whatever the case is. But, you know, I used to be in here adamant like 5 days a week trying to lift heavy fucking weight and eat nothing but, you know, like rabbit back and mashed potatoes and gravy and trying to get protein, you know what I mean?
Rabbit back.
Yeah, you know, like when you're trying to get big, like that was a part of my evolution in the exercise realm.
Eating those Shiffy P meals?
Well, you know, he's better than that because, you know, he's pescatarian. So he doesn't actually even eat those whole little hens, like those French hens that people say eat when you're trying to get big. Just eat brown rice, mashed potatoes and gravy, and French hens.
Every time he posts something on the gram, it's just vegetables, maybe some chicken, some fish, but not even chicken. It shouldn't be. Maybe he was meal prepping for someone else, because I don't think. Well, at least when he came on here, he could have changed his ideals by now, because he only ate fish. I hit him on Instagram and asked for the recipe. This nigga gave me the recipe.
Okay. I'm sorry. So you got you on the inside. I will shut the fuck up. I've been corrected. Focus the point was like in there. Oh yeah, so he thinks that maybe I look good. Sure. So he's asking questions about how often I'm in there, and he just starts going off in this like motivational tirade about how you got to get up, you got to do this, you got to move your body, even when you know it's easy to go out and have drinks with your buddies and go out on the town, and you still got to wake up and try to put that 1,000% in when you get in the gym. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic, man. Like, what?
Don't you love when people just really forthcoming with information like that you didn't ask them for?
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds great. Like, sure, I don't fucking know. And then I'm like, yeah, you know, it can be real easy to just, you know, hit a little bit of that weed and just watch Netflix. To which he says, oh yeah, where you be getting yours from?
Oh man.
And I was like, nah, I'm not like a real smoker like that. I was like, so I was like, dude, you're in Virginia. There are pop-up shops all around. Like, you can go to DC. I was like, it's not a long ride up there. Like, you can find some company. And he was like, oh, nah, because I'm the plug. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, man, just get me on Snapchat and Instagram real quick. So we swap stuff. And again, was it forthcoming? Sure. So it is what it is. But it was fine. It wasn't anything too crazy. Mm-hmm. He takes a lot of pictures with like his shirt off and stuff like that. Like
on Instagram and stuff.
I just thought that should be said.
Yeah.
Like shirts off with just jeans on in front of a graffiti wall.
Are the jeans like low rise? Does he push them down a little bit? Just try to show the V or something?
For sure.
Does he hit those poses that are like this, like those types of things?
Oh, like hands over the head? No, they're mostly competition poses.
Oh, okay.
Like trying to show you his back, like trying to broaden his back out and get those types of photos.
What do they call those, wings or something? Isn't that
probably? Yeah, sure. So I get a Snapchat from him like a couple of days after that.
Hope it wasn't him with the shirt off.
Well, I was assuming that it was going to be, oh, he's the plug. I've done Snapchat plug deals before. He probably hosts his shit on his story or something like that and shows you what he has. And so I clicked it. And it was just a photo of him in his bed with his shirt off, making little, what was it called? Duck lips?
Yeah.
The little like pursed lips.
Yeah.
You just simply that.
Now, I'm not on Snapchat. I used to be.
Okay.
But from what I understand, he would have to have sent that to you, right? It's not like a thing that everyone can see, right?
He could have sent that to multiple people.
Right.
But that snap got to my phone because he clicked my name.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and that's the end of the story.
So he shot his shot.
Right.
From half court.
And I was telling Duty, I think this may be outside of some of the gay dudes that we were going to school with that were just super flamboyant and really disrespectful with how they were going to speak to straight men. You know what I mean? Like, you looking good over there. Like, I might have to tap that. Like, this, like saying, it's like, bro, like, why are you? It's the same way that you wouldn't want like a woman being spoken to by some nasty, creepy ass dude.
Yeah.
Except it's now it's a gay dude, and for some reason, sometimes gay dudes be getting passes and they be talking to straight dudes weirdly. They're just like, nah, man, like that ain't even. Oh no, it's gonna be your thing. I'm gonna turn you out, boy. Like it's like niggas, you can't talk
Easy
to me.
Way or the hard
you can't
way.
talk to me like that, bro. Like it doesn't go that way. Like,
I mean, anytime I've ever been hit on by a gay guy, it's been some unprovoked physical contact.
Wait a minute.
I mean, like, like
you didn't provoke it, right? Like,
yeah, like cause, I've been to like gay clubs, gay bars, things like that. They'll just, it's kind of a tap on the arm, just to see what you'll do, that type of shit. Nothing crazy.
And what do you do when they tap you on the arm?
I mean, I look to see what the fuck just happened.
and then they're looking at you.
And then, I just keep going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're looking for a certain eye contact, like when you look over, but they see you and they're like, oh, nah, he ain't the one.
Yeah.
See, that's respectful, though.
I mean, but I've even had, the thing is sometimes I get a little confused because that happens too, but I've also had men like, I don't know if they still do it, but Park in DC, they'll have they have like a gay night on like, I don't know. It used to be on Sundays years ago. Me and Antoinette, we'd go with, some of her gay friends. And, I had a guy in there one time just kind of come, like, Antoinette's dancing, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of like chilling, you know what I'm saying? I had a guy come just like sit next to me and he was like, what you doing in here? I'm just like, I'm just here with my friends. He was like, you having a good time? And I'm like, yeah, I'm having a good time. He was like, yeah, okay. I mean, that's cool. But I get the sense that I want to say that he knew that I was straight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's, or at least that's the vibe that I took from it.
That's what I'm saying, because when I told Duty this story about the guy from the gym, he was like, well, Earl, you do give off a vibe sometimes. And I said, I haven't heard that I give off the vibe since I took out all my earrings that I used to have back in the day when I used to look like a pirate. And I had all these gold loops and
I mean, I could see
greens and blues and shit.
I could see that more so back then. I don't know how, I don't know about now.
But. Yeah. Either way, yeah. So he really did shoot his shot. Just abrasively too.
Now I'm wondering if he's actually the plug, or if that was just some way to get your contact information.
He's the plug.
Okay.
Nasty man.
Oh man.
Nasty man plug. Yeah, no, but I just thought that was fucking hilarious, because I can't recall a time in my adulthood openly being propositioned by a man. I don't think so. Again, little flirtatious things, little like things said, but never like, here I am.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to send this to you and see what happens.
Yeah.
See if you send something back.
It's out in the open. It's there. It's there for you.
I know
if you want it.
That was wild too, because I was watching this dude today go up to some women in the gym and, getting their numbers and stuff like that, which who knows if they gave the right number. Maybe they really liked him. Maybe they just thought he was a creep and they tried to get out of there.
Hold on.
He was talking to like two girls.
That's what I was about to ask you. You watched the guy try to get numbers from two
different
women.
He may have been just speaking to one and there were just two there. It was just a friend there and he just said, fuck, I'm going to just approach both of them and speak to both of them. That could have been the case.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what happened. But I'm just thinking, when you start making decisions like that, whether it be at your job or the gym, when you start going to a place that's pretty closely knit and you start shooting those shots, you're going to start seeing these people, and that net's going to get closer and closer and tighter, and your world's going to get really, really small, because that's how things work. There's a guy at the fucking gym that talks to me about, he's like one of these sauna guys. When I go in the sauna, he's in the sauna and he likes to talk in the sauna. And he's always bringing water in there with eucalyptus and mint and some essential oils, like in a water bottle with some water, so he can pour it over the rocks and have that dispersed throughout the air. And he's asking people, hey, what scent you want today? Like, what's it? Like, he's talking to everyone. And when I go into the locker room and he's there, let me not say, like 70% of the guys that walk through there, he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, what's going on? And he starts some sort of conversation with him. So he's talking to people constantly throughout the gym. And again, your world you get small. You start to knowing people on a first name basis. Some people think you're weird. Some people are ready to have the conversation, whatever the case is. Same thing when you're trying to proposition people. Now, this guy at the gym, now, if he sees me again, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. Now we're in the locker room and you pop up next to me at the urinal or something like that. And we looking at each other.
Swinging dicks. Is it awkward for you?
No, it's really not. But
okay.
I want to know, but I wonder what it is for him. Maybe now if he has zero shame in what it is he does, then yeah, you just keep going out to the same places over and over, hitting on people, sending snaps, and you just keep walking around them the next day, even though they didn't send you something back, and you're just like, oh, hey. And you just keep walking. I guess if you have no shame, that's the way you can do it. But that would be really weird for me.
Right.
To shoot my shot. Because the way he shot his shot, he shoots his shot.
Yeah.
Like did, like this wasn't a one-time thing. So yeah, like this isn't a one-off. So if you're just doing this all the time, I would imagine the gym or whatever would get, if you had shame at all, it would be a weird place to start going to, knowing that you're trying to talk to various people in there.
Yeah, that was an aggressive shot. Like there was 5 seconds left, and you needed to make this shot to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
We've talked about sending photos before.
Yeah,
it just to get to that place for me,
But it's never come from a guy before, so that's interesting.
It's a weird thing regardless, because even if you get a photo from a woman that fast, like you guys exchange snaps and Instagrams at the gym, you have all of 2 minutes of conversation with that person, and then a day later they send you a snap and she's in bed with her titties pumped up and poked out and squeezed up from the upside, from fucking upside down angle or whatever the fuck is going on. you probably think so. He's like, damn.
Yeah, like wow, that happened quickly.
Like wow, that happened quickly. What does that mean?
Right.
Because I'm not gonna sit here and believe that I'm just so cool that she chose me. It's like, no, this person does this thing probably. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I just thought that was fucking. I thought that was an interesting moment for me.
That is interesting.
That's all I had on that. Polo was fun though. Polo was a ton of fun. I think all you guys would have a fucking blast watching it because you don't know anything about it. But I think the competitive spirit that all of my friends have, it mixed and immersed with your love of sports, you would be sitting there trying to analyze it, and you would one, very quickly understand the game, and you would be trying to analyze it and see who's better than who and who you're rooting for and all that sort of stuff. It's fun and it's intense.
Who was the nigga out there?
Atluma, I believe was his name. Yeah, I think his name is some Atluma. There are people from all different sorts of places.
Where was this at? Where did this take place at?
This was in the Plains area. So
what does that mean?
Exit 31 going 66 West. I can tell you that.
The name of the town?
There's not even it's Great Meadow Event Field.
Okay.
That's what I got. No, the Plains is the town.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Plains is the town.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you get off exit 31 going 66 West, it's like right there.
Okay.
And there's just tons of land because the real nigga polo, like the highest level, I believe I read that they run this game on a 300 by 100 yard field. 300 long. Now, you know, football is 100. So that gives you like something like a point of reference to think about. 300 long. Now you're on horses.
Right.
100 wide. And you got this fucking ball and these rods and you're sitting there trying to smack this thing into a goal.
It's a coliseum.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of fucking like soccer and Quidditch.
Have you ever rode a horse?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I used to ride when I was a child.
Oh, okay.
When I went to Camp Bernie, they used to have up in New Jersey. They used to have archery. I did that. My brother did riflery. That's where I feel like I picked up a ton of social skills. Mm-hmm. That's where I learned how to swim. Mm-hmm. All sorts of stuff. Tetherball was fun. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Okay. But horse riding, I horse rode for like 5 years in a row, like every summer. Yeah, it was fun.
All right.
Horses are interesting animals. They're so sentient. Like they feel you. And that's something that's amazing about the sport of polo. Is these people have to become in sync with the horse because the horse is a player as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like horse races. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All that sort of shit, whether it be horse races, they have this like horse showings where just horses kind of go out and they just
trot.
They just trot and look elegant because they're to be purchased and all this sort of stuff. So there's jumping where it's just literal how high and elegantly can these horses jump. You know, it's just like high jump.
Yeah.
But horses.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Dude, I don't know. But I mean, it's all extremely fucking impressive. Mm-hmm. And seeing all these horses, so it's 4-on-4. I think the games we were watching, the matches we were watching were 3-on-3 maybe. But usually 3-on-3, 4-on-4. This was an interesting fact. The USPA, United States Polo Association, is 37% women. So this is a game that is played with women and men. It is co-ed, co-ed sport. And I think it's the only co-ed sport, actually.
Interesting. Do they also own the polos? They are,
now,
is that them?
Let me get on to that. Because I'm sitting there watching this thing, which, by the way, so beautiful. It has like everything that I love about summertime, which is you sit out lawn or you buy like box seats and then you go sit like right next to it. I didn't have those. I had general admission. Okay. And I sat out on the fucking lawn with the rest of the humble human beings. Okay. Those things, when you get those box seats, those are anywhere between like $200, $400 to go sit over there and set up your drinks and snacks and sit down and be right on the inner rink right next to the horses. I mean, it's dope because I walked over there.
Why wasn't you over there?
What you mean? Why wasn't you talking about? Why didn't I purchase that? Is that what you're asking me? Why didn't I purchase that? No, because the admission ticket that I got that for the free.
Oh, that's right. You did get that for free.
I got that for the free.
That's right.
It was a perk. Exactly. I got that for the free. So yeah, I wasn't gonna overdo it and be like, you know what, man, fuck this free admission ticket I got. I'm just going to go ahead and buy this $300 box seat. Like, it's not that serious.
Gotcha.
Anyway, but you're sitting out there and it's warm out and everyone has their fucking picnic tables and cloths and their wines and beers and sandwiches and fruits for the kids, and the kids are running around. Everyone's dressed up nicely and little kids are running around. And as it gets darker, because there are 3 matches, there's one, gates open at 5:30. There's one at 6, 7, and 8. And the level of intensity, the level of quality, it gets better every match.
Right.
So there are these tiers of players that you just see get better and better as the night goes on. It starts to get darker outside, little kids running around. And for me now, it gets nostalgic because I'm thinking about being a little kid. And now this is one of the memories that they have, going out to polo matches with their parents. And as mom and dad are over there drinking, hugged up on each other, we go find the other kids and play manhunt in these huge ass fields that they have out there and playing around. So one is just giving me a good feeling that kids are running around having a great time and people are drunk and eating a bunch of food. And then you have this fucking spectacle in front of you where if you didn't grow up in horse riding country or you didn't grow up equestrian at all, it's fucking impressive. They're riding horses. They got some little mallet in their hand, and they're not even using the end of the mallet. They're using like the skinny part of it. So you sort of like flip it exactly, so you can only use like the flat side of the mallet. And so you're using that. They have these fucking back swings that are fucking crazy.
I gotta YouTube this just get a glimpse.
Yeah, you gotta get a glimpse. I actually have some videos, so I'm actually gonna post a couple of those. But it's amazing. And then again, being in sync with your horse and knowing where to go, and the intensity of all these horses riding as closely together as they do is fucking
Is there any contact? Are horses tripping over other horses? Like, does anyone fall off the horse?
I haven't seen anyone fall off or any horses trip up, but the horses get tired. And so between chuckers, which are like quarters in a sense, you have 4 of them, I believe. After every chucker, the horses get sent out and they bring new horses in.
Oh.
Because the horses get fucking exhausted running around out there like that. So they have to get I heard from an equestrian rider that polos can be viewed as kind of cruel. The sort of training that horses have to go through in order to be able to play this sport is actually pretty fucking insane. Like the sort of pivots that they have to take like the training is just rigorous on the horses.
So is this like a league? Like a professional league?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say this was a professional league, but I think that some of these guys ride professionally. But I also think that they're just like these leagues, you know.
Is polo on TV? I've never seen it.
I don't know about polo being on but this is the thing.
Can I find it on ESPN?
Probably. I don't see why not. This is just one of those things that we didn't grow up knowing, but is 20 minutes down the road.
Right. Because
we didn't grow up around these places, but it's in a beautiful fucking area. And it costs a lot of money. So you don't really know about these things unless you have a lot of money. We're talking about $150
for general admission
for an hour of lessons. If you wanted to become a rider, just on average $150. Do you know how long it takes to become good at something? We're talking about if I give you a basketball, that costed you tops $30. Now you just walk your ass to the basketball court and you watch some videos on YouTube, you watch people play on TV, and you go out there and you play.
Right.
And you become good. You can't become good at riding a horse unless you have a horse, which costs $1 million fucking to do.
Having a horse is expensive.
It's very expensive.
Remember we went on that hike that one time, the very first hike.
Okay. And then that may have been Great Falls.
Yeah, Great Falls.
Yeah.
The one where we did like 13 miles because we were like going backwards and forwards and all that shit.
Yeah.
That guy that was over there, didn't he have horses? Had a big ass house. Had some horses over there. The guy that like came out and spoke to us like when we were parking.
Oh,
remember that?
That would make sense.
Yeah. Had a big ass house and had a couple of horses.
Yeah, there was a guy that the announcer was talking about. He said, oh yeah, and so Tommy out there riding on horse number whatever the fuck. He was just like, he was like, this is his first year playing polo. He purchased a horse last year and just decided he was just gonna learn how to play polo. So here we are. And it was just a fucking dude out there running around playing polo, and it was his first year playing. He just purchased it's just a different life. He just purchased a horse and decided, I feel like learning how to play polo.
Yeah, horses. From what I've heard, they require a lot of upkeep,
bro. It's insane.
Yeah, it's not a dog.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Think about a dog in like vet bills.
Yeah,
you talking about a horse?
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's a whole different sort of world, but it's a lot of fun to watch. It's so much fun. The horses are so fucking, and they're all in their own ponies too. So they're not like these huge fucking Mustangs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're the ponies.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's a ton of stuff, but to get on this USPA issue for a second, how ignorant were we as niggas back in the day? We used to, well, no, not me, because I was never even on the Ralph Lauren wave, but but most of my friends were. Actually, all of my friends were.
Who?
I can name. You want me to name RJ? No, Mikey.
I just want to know if you're about to name me.
Henry. That's where it ends.
Okay, because I didn't have a ton of polo.
Maybe even Tony. I think he was getting some too. But people were on the Ralph Lauren wave because when we were going and having all those, which I kind of miss, but those mall men guy days we were having, we would just go out. Probably hit FYE for some reason and not purchase any albums or purchase anything from there, but we would step in FYE. We,
CDs
hit
are coming back.
Forever 21, H&M. Like we would just pop in some of these places. We'd always get something to eat. Yeah, those were fun times. But back then, there was always a stop at Ralph Lauren, and it was never for me. Mm-hmm. I just went in there with the rest of the guys. Mm-hmm. They get a little polo here. Mostly polo because they wasn't buying like the big jackets or nothing that cost like rich suit. But those polos were, I remember them being
they're like
at least $80 fucking dollars.
Yeah, they're like $80 for a polo.
Unless did they have nice little color coordination between the main, colorway and then just like the small little stitched guy on the horse in the top left corner. Yeah, that was cool. You might get like a nice lavender with the yellow one or some shit like that. Like that's cool. You might get the Christmas one. It was like a forest green with the red guy
or the blue joint with the yellow guy.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, of course. Like they're very, very cool. Yeah, that's fine. But there's no way $80 a piece. We was in high school.
Right.
But people were spending $80 a piece for that. And then, because this is the point, clowning niggas that wore USPA.
Because they sold it at Rugged Warehouse.
But USPA is the association.
Yeah. It's not like they knew that. Or they would have cared.
But that's the point. Like, it's like the NBA is the association. But like if I was wearing some shit that wasn't like an NBA jersey, I would have been clowned at.
Nigga, if you walked in back then with a shirt that just said NBA on it, you would have clowned too.
No. But the point is, if I had a jersey that I don't know, say some rich celebrity sold or some rich celebrity wore, it would have been cool, right? But since that is not the case. And so if you get an NBA jersey that is an authentic NBA jersey, people gonna look at you like, hey, that's dope.
Yeah.
You got an authentic NBA jersey. But if it was some fallout shit that wasn't NBA certified, but somebody else would, but if Kanye was wearing it first, maybe it'd be cool. But since that was never the case, if I had a jersey that wasn't from the NBA, you would get clowned for wearing that. But yet some reason the USPA came out with clothing and people clown people for wearing that as opposed to Ralph Lauren polo.
Right.
Which I'm certain maybe a ton of people that are equestrian or ride equestrian do wear Ralph Lauren polo.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But they probably see no issue with USPA. Right. I don't know this because I haven't had these conversations, but it's probably not a big deal because it's a fucking United States Polo Association. It's the actual company.
But the thing about Ralph Lauren is it's marketed so highly in the fashion world. USPA is not. It's just fabric.
That's what I'm saying. And Ralph Lauren is fabric in a name. So, but what I'm saying is it's a name of a fashion house. It's a name of a person.
Hold on. Was it you that, I don't even know if it was on this pod. I feel like somebody was like cooked Mikey back in the day for wearing like, and like, it was like a basketball jersey.
It was what did Jarrell say? Because Jarrell was the one that roasted him up. It was a quarterback. It was something Campbell.
Jason Campbell.
But
it was like a basketball jersey or something.
He had a basketball. And this is just what it was at the time. I'm not being inflammatory for the sake of being inflammatory. He had a Washington Redskins Jason Campbell basketball jersey. And yeah, it just got because that was when Jarrell was just like Jason Campbell for 3. It was crazy. Yeah.
Where do you even purchase something like that at? Where does one buy that? Oh my gosh. That's so funny, dog.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I just
man. I would have cooked you too, nigga. Like, a Jason Campbell basketball jersey, nigga. What? Come on, man.
Just imagine just having like a fucking like Serena Williams football jersey.
Come on, like, nah, that shit had to come from the Georgetown South flea market.
That flea market,
that shit had to have come from there.
Oh man, that's funny as hell. Somebody was like, "We're gonna get creative." Like, yeah, that's funny as hell. Yeah, no, I don't know. All I do know is that I feel like people should have got a break for wearing USPA. And for anyone that got made fun of from any of my friends, I apologize on behalf of all of them. They didn't know USPA was the actual association for polo. They didn't know that. Oh my God, that's funny. But yeah, man, it was a great fucking time. And again, I think that you guys would have a ball being there, like really looking at it and dissecting how competitive it is up there. Because the stakes are high, man.
I think it's probably one of those types of things where like, it's like baseball to me. Mm-hmm. Like I probably wouldn't watch it on TV, but I wouldn't mind going in person.
Oh, it's a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
You know, you are an avid live music listener.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, sure. The shit thumping in your car on a nice summer day and you don't got nothing to do, and maybe you headed out to go fishing somewhere and you bumping the shit in the car. That's a cool vibe. Mm-hmm. But it's not like that artist 30 feet in front of you with a live band cranking shit out.
Yeah, completely different experience.
I was just talking about Unplugged the other day. I think Duty, the lady, and I were having a conversation about it, and we were talking about Alicia Keys. I think Duty's been listening to Alicia Keys' Unplugged.
Okay.
We started talking about Lauryn Hill's Unplugged. Just certain people's Unplugged, in that we would like it from certain people. It's not desired from everyone, but there are certain people where just them in just a live band, just the piece.
Do you watch the NPR Tiny Desk?
I don't make it a thing to do it. I've seen some, but no.
All right.
I haven't seen Usher's.
What? Hold on. Why did you say that specifically?
No, I'm just because that's the first person that came to mind that I saw that did one that I just didn't click on.
But, okay, because me and Antoinette watched the Usher one. Okay, probably I don't know. This was months ago when it happened.
How is his performing right now? Like, how'd you feel?
Oh, I mean, I
haven't seen this nigga perform since "These Are My Confessions."
Confessions is a great album.
I'm just saying,
but no, he was great. He was great. She definitely watched more of it than I did. From what I saw, it was good.
Okay,
yeah, it was definitely good.
Yeah, so it's just a completely different thing in person because you get to, just like you could at a music event, you can see someone's fucking fingers moving on the guitar and the fucking face moving. You can see the soul, right? Like coming fucking out of them, which is this, it's the craziest thing. But we were talking about singers like Jennifer Hudson. I think we put Beyonce.
I used to be in love with Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah. There's this other chick that I'm not going to remember her name, but she's another powerhouse singer that I was put on to.
Beyonce.
I already said Beyonce, but no, it wasn't Beyonce. But yeah, there's just certain people that have wild power behind their voice. Mm-hmm. And I think we were just talking about Alicia Keys. Like her Unplugged album is good. It's Alicia Keys, she's good, but that she just didn't have like this richness, this depth behind her voice. And we just started coming up with a bunch of different people where if you saw them live, like a fucking Adele, just blowing through the microphone, like that's a completely different sort of experience. But I'm all about going and seeing things live. I think you guys again would love it. I might try to like schedule something where we can all go out and just bring all of our own stuff.
Yeah, let's be friends
and sit out. You don't think we? You know what? It's funny. It's great that you say that. I was having this conversation with Duty on the last pod about guy friends, and we've already kind of touched on it now. But just that, women and then gay guys are having much better times than heterosexual men out together. Mm-hmm. It's just a completely different experience.
It probably just depends because you were talking about, or at least you were talking about with me as far as like going to the club. That I completely understand.
Yeah,
but it just depends on the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like if me, RJ, Duty, and Mikey were to go to a football game, we would have a great time together.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I meant going out to it, like in the club, in the nightlife.
Yeah, okay,
I definitely didn't mean just going out and bonding over sports. Yeah, no, for sure. That could definitely be a thing. But
if me and you were to go to, I think if we went to a concert, I think we would, depending on who it is, I think we'd have a good time. Just depends on what it is.
I think that we would have a good time, but we would have the least of good times.
Okay.
Okay. If you and I were women, or if you and I were two gay men, I think that those two versions of ourselves would have better times than us now. We could have a good time, but all right, how many things can you do at a club or at a concert? Like how many things can you participate in? Like, let's go through them. Can you have conversation with loud ass speakers?
I suppose not.
You not having no conversation. Okay, so that's X'd off. Okay, so that means that what can you do? You can do drugs. You can dance next to each other. You can
Hold on, so you not talking at the concerts? Like, you're not having conversation? Like, I'm not saying it's got to be some really in-depth,
I feel like the conversation is like, hey yo, you see her? Hey yo, she over there getting it, she dancing. Or hey yo, look, hey man, this is a great ass concert. Hey, he killed that verse. Hey, this is my favorite verse. Like you're saying these types of things, yeah, but like you're not having a conversation. Like,
but is that what it's meant for? Like,
no, but so this is why we're getting into the conversation of what can you do there. And so what I'm saying is what you and I are allowed to do there, or what we're going to do there, is listen to the music, love the music, observe the people in the crowd along with us, observe the performer. That's what we're going to do. What I'm saying is that gay guys and women can do all of those things plus dance with one another. And so what I'm saying is, yeah, we can have a great time, but we're not. Look, we're not going to do what? Tell me what we're not going to do, because so I can look here in your face.
No, we're not going to dance with each other.
That's what I'm saying, and so.
But I think that
they have more going for them than we do, is what I'm saying.
I feel what you're saying, but I feel like at a concert, you're there, you're listening to the music, you're feeling the music, you're feeling the bass.
Okay.
I almost feel like if we're next to each other, yes, we're not dancing with each other, but maybe we're moving, we're bopping, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that energy is almost transferable. It's like it's bouncing off of each other between the both of us.
Oh my God.
Unless we just two whack ass niggas that are just.
Nah, like you can do more than just a little B-boy stance. You can do more than just a rock away, the lean back. Like you can give them a little two-stepper, whatever it is that you want to do. And I think that, yes, in that sense, I could pick up on your energy, and it's like we're both here having a good time. I think that even that is a watered down version of dancing together.
Why? Because we don't clasp hands and
But you don't think, but if you didn't care about the fact that you don't want to hold your man friend's hand in your hand and look in each other's eyes, and if that wasn't there, if you didn't have those worries, you don't think that would be an increased version of this side by side, shoulder to shoulder dance you're talking about?
Earl, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Which is why you like gay clubs in the first place, is because a lot of that ego-driven male shit is like whatever male toxicity that we actually can say is a real thing. That's taken out of the equation. That's taken out of that's not an element.
I don't even know if I've ever thought about it that way.
Oh, really?
I just go to gay clubs because my girl goes, and I go with her.
Oh, but you never thought as to why you enjoy it? Aside from the fact that you're there with your fiance? Like,
well, the thing about it, like, I'll go to gay clubs, and honestly, 9 times out of 10, I'm only there because she's there. I don't have anything against gay clubs, but I don't know that I would have just stepped into one off of a whim without an invitation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, someone says, hey, let's go try this out. And I'd be like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what's up with that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't make any further observations as to why you were enjoying your time in there. Like,
it's good music, drinks, like any other club.
Oh, so it's just like any other club to you. So you didn't really spot anything differently aside from the fact that it was mostly gay people inside of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have thought that maybe you would have seen a lot of like.
I'm not worried about the testosterone in the room when I'm in there.
I would think that it was something that would come out because I'm observing, and it's not just observing just to people watch for the sake of people watching. People watching in this level of observation I'm talking about, at least at a bare minimum, is about security. It's about knowing that the nigga behind, like to my right, hasn't been looking at me for the 5 minutes and before this and is about to punch me in my jaw. Like,
okay, just
scoping like what is happening around. This person got his shoes stepped on a second ago. What is salud?
Thank you.
What is he about to do? Who is he looking at? Who does he blame for this? Does he blame everyone in the club? Like, who's he upset about? Is he about to slap this chick because salud parte dos? Is he about to slap?
Is that part 2?
Yes.
Did you say,
yes.
Bless you, part 2.
Yes. Is he about to slap this chick that didn't want to give him a dance, and this chick happens to be the friend that I came here with, right? Like, you have to just be able to scope these things out.
I get that.
But that's not a thing. It's not an element that you even have to deal with.
Yeah.
At least not to the degree.
But I don't know. I think that if I were a woman, that type of stuff I would think about that a lot more, because those women, I feel like women are the ones that are generally, they're more affected by those types of situations, not stepping on a shoe, but having to worry about.
Well, you're out with a woman. So I would assume that if you're out at a club with mixed people in it, it's not a gay club, right? And you go there, you would be aware, not just on your P's and Q's, just waiting to pounce on a nigga for making the wrong move or saying the wrong thing, but just aware that she's comfortable wherever she's at, and however,
I'm always aware of that, but like when I go out with her, I'm not concerned whether a nigga is gonna like try to get at her like in my presence.
Well, no. I'm not talking about from that sense of like having envy, of this guy having this.
Well, no. It's not even about envy. It's just the fact that like I feel like we give off the energy of like, hey, we're here together, so like nobody's even gonna like even try that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, that whole thing of people propositioning that person, that's at the very bottom of my list of priorities. I'm more so just talking about just how, does she feel comfortable? For whatever reasons, because women just they need different things for comfort than we do. So I'm just wondering, do you feel comfortable where you are with whomever is around you at the moment? All that sort of stuff.
Now, another thing you got to understand is that I'm not going to certain places. Like, I'm beyond going to the spots where like I really have to keep my head on a swivel. Like, I don't go to those type of spots. Gay or not, like I don't go to those type of spots.
Yeah, no. I'm with you. That's why I'm hanging out at the polo matches. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's no risk out there, really.
Yeah, like the spots that I go to when I do go out, because I don't go out I don't go to clubs like I used to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I do go to places, it's not even those kind of spots where I feel like I have to be like, where I feel like, you know, maybe I'll get into a fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know, and you know, I don't even keep like, it's just not the type of energy that I have.
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand.
I don't go to those places.
No, I understand. No, you definitely don't want those things. Either way, I thought I'd just throw those observations out there. Live music is awesome. Polo's awesome. I'm certain these gay clubs are awesome. Sure.
Go to one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would. But from what I've heard, I need to go with some sort of access. Like, I need to go. You can't be popping up. Like, you can't just be touching down without anyone that can act as a shaman and guide you through. Because if you just go in there,
I was talking about a very specific place.
Okay,
there is a place that you can go, a place that I've spoke about multiple times that you would be just fine. But the place that we were talking about the other day, that's a place that you don't just want to roll up to off of a whim.
But that's weird.
It is weird.
That to me, because why are there just these places where, like, what is the resistance
like that?
Why is the resistance towards me? Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it, and I would love to hear from everyone why there are certain places where if I pop up, it's an issue, and it's not some place.
I mean, there's just different dynamics.
Religious, where you have to be a certain type of religious person in order to get access into. Like we're just talking about a public company.
It's just the level of club, just different dynamics. There's spots that you can go to, gay or not, that are just, they're very friendly and, you know, but there's also spots where, like, you know, you might just want to go there with someone that's been there before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like that out here.
Okay. I'm trying to figure it out.
I mean, so this club's called Fireplace. I went there with my girl, some of her gay friends. It's a very dimly lit, hole in the wall ass place. And it gives a different kind of vibe than a place like Nelly's Sports Bar, which is also a gay club, but it's very lively and a different kind of energy, completely different kind of energy. So
the first place, Fireplace, am I looking over my shoulders? Like what? Like
no,
like what? Like what am I? What do I have to deal with? Like what exactly is the resistance? What's the pushback?
I think if you want to ask me, I think that the men there are just a little more aggressive. It's just a little more of a hood spot. It's gay men, but it's more of a hood spot. You know what I'm saying? Men go there to like, are we fucking tonight? Nelly's is just way more chill. It's way more chill. Way more chill. Like when I went to Fireplace, I didn't even see any women in there. I didn't even really see women in there. You go to Nelly's, it's a good mix of gay men and women.
Yeah.
You know, so.
All right, man. That's funny. There's like this. Man, I was just talking to Duty about this on the last time too. Like, it's just not. People being bored to me is so weird. It's just such a big world. And there's so many things going on. And one life is not even close to enough.
Right.
One life is not even. You can have a great time.
That's an understatement.
I'm having an awesome time. I like this. My life is great. This was an awesome ride for however long I get to do this. This was a very, very fucking cool experience. I can't speak for anyone else's, but this one has been very fucking cool. There's so much sexual shit going on out there. I just hear about like these huge sex conventions, like these huge sex parties, and people go to them, and it's all consensual, but it's like in this room we have this flavor going on, in this flavor. In this room we have this scent, coursing through the air, and in this room we believe in this thing, and it's very, very fucking crazy. It's very wild. It just trying to open up your mind to what people are okay with and the things that people like. Porn is wild. Like that we've gotten into this age of like stepmoms and stepdads fucking, you know, the children, and
we're talking about porn.
Yeah, okay. but what I'm saying is though, but there's an appetite for a lot of things.
It don't even got to be steps. It's an appetite for incest.
Yeah, there's just an appetite for whatever. There's just anything you can think about.
Yeah,
like it's just out there. It could be complete degradation of someone just throwing shit at them and spitting on them, and there's almost no sex had. It's just me just fucking spitting on you and calling you names and shit. Or people just getting the shit beat out of them with fucking whips and riding crops, and
there's someone on the other side of a screen just yanking their shit to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that shit is great.
Yeah, there's something. There's so much going on, man. It's crazy, but yeah, I'm not bored in the slightest. Go ahead.
Because we're on the subject. Look, just came back from Miami. I went to my first drag brunch.
Yeah, explain what that exactly is. I think we understand both of the terms put together, drag and brunch. Okay. But I'm just gonna need you to. When niggas walking out, did they have a catwalk while you was eating fucking chicken and waffles, sipping a mimosa?
Listen.
Did a nigga sit on your lap?
No. Okay. No. It could happen. Okay. Like it was that type of environment, but that didn't happen to me.
Okay.
So let me say this first. There was a huge emphasis on, you know, like the drag queens that were there. They were, you know, heavy on the thank you guys for being here. You know, clearly you all are allies. You know, we love that. Blah, blah, blah. Like there's politicians out here that are trying to end drag brunches because they don't want people being, you know, they don't want people going to these things, seeing this type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Are you surprised?
Where was it? Did you see this? Wait, this was in Miami. No, I'm sorry. You don't have to say the place, but it was in Miami.
No, this was in Miami.
Oh, no, I'm trying to think. I'm not saying. Wait, Florida's not really a
Florida's Republican as shit.
So maybe they don't really.
But you know what? The thing about Miami is like its own different world.
That's very true.
Miami's not like the rest of Florida.
It's like what I heard, like the Vatican is inside of fucking Italy or whatever. Yeah, like it's its own country inside of it. Like it's an enclave, which is really fucking weird. That just recently in the past 10 years or so changed its consensual age from like 13 to 18. And there's a bunch of fucking, you know, like priests out there having sex with little boys. So that was like a weird thing that happened. But yes, okay, so Miami being inside of Florida is its own little hub.
It's really different.
And you would say it was probably clearly because of the drag races, the drag brunches, much more of a progressive place than...
Yeah, for sure. It's way more diverse, you know what I'm saying? And it's way more progressive and, I guess, liberal, you could say, than the rest of Florida, you know, because Florida's where a lot of old, rich people, which are mostly white people, go to retire. You know what I'm saying?
They want to see people stop doing drag. Why? But I wonder why. Is it like because is it really like provocative?
Yes.
Okay. And it's just at a brunch where anybody can go.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe that has something to do with it.
What I'm telling you about, I don't even know that this was in Florida, but it was a news article that I read several months ago. I can't remember what state it was, so I can't tell you that it was Florida, but I do know that there are politicians out here in certain states that are trying to like abolish these things. But let me tell you that I went to my first drag brunch at the spot called Palace in Miami, Florida. That shit was lit. It was lit. So yeah, it's brunch, but you've got these, and I'm going to call them women. They are drag queens, but I'm just going to refer to them as women. You know,
but they don't have to be, right? Like they could be men.
You're right.
They could easily be men that just like to just dress drag.
You're right. But they all had titties and ass and all that. So like the hormones, the pills have been taken at this point. It was all that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I don't know. It's almost like I don't know. It's like I have a new respect for the craft.
Okay, you know tell me about this fucking respect, because I don't know anything. I have a friend that has gone to many drag races. I don't know anything about this.
Drag races. No.
Well, wait. I'm sorry.
That is a car.
What do you call them? Just drag events?
Drag brunch. Just a drag.
No. But if it's not a drag brunch? It's just a drag
show. I don't know.
Yeah, like what are those things called when they're just walking out? Just drag competitions, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, because they're walking catwalks and stuff like that, and they're being judged. Like
but no, a drag race.
I'm sorry, that cars. Is yes, those are cars. Yes, I'm sorry. But yes, so I don't know anything about them.
So here's the thing. You know, we're all sitting down. It was like we were like a group of 6 or 7, something like that, and like the first one that came out, like super comedic. Like had niggas rolling. Everybody was laughing.
By the way, for people that don't understand, rolling means laughing really hard.
That's what it means.
Continue, Keon.
Yeah, had niggas rolling in there. Like, and I was telling Antoinette, I was like, yo, she could be a straight comedian. Like this girl is funny as shit.
How drunk were you though?
I mean, I was drinking.
It matters.
No,
it does matter.
No, it does matter, but she was funny.
Okay.
She was definitely funny.
Okay.
No.
Hey, rest in peace to Teddy Ray. Is his name correct?
Yeah, Teddy Ray.
Yeah, that's crazy. He died. But we had some people that actually called that.
Yeah, apparently.
I actually kind of saw that coming.
Apparently.
Anyway, yes, real comedian. She could be real comedian. She's really funny.
But
had nothing to do with the 8 mimosas you had before she told the joke. Continue.
But yeah, there was like I don't know 3 or 4 of them that came out. They're doing fucking backflips and cartwheels. You know what I'm saying? Dancing, bow jiving, just all types of shit. Yeah, I know.
Bow jiving. Yeah, I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, just kind of just doing their thing.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was just a brand new experience for me. You know what I'm saying? I'd never done anything like that before. And you know, a lot of my party, there were lesbians, there were homosexual men in the party that I was with. And they're kind of looking at me. I'm the only, well, besides my girl, Antoinette, we're the only heterosexual couple that are in this party. And Antoinette's a girl. Everyone's looking at me like I had more than one person kind of ask me like, hey, how you feeling about this? Like, what's going through your head?
Salud parte tres.
I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. Just kind of asking me like, what's going through, like, are you enjoying yourself? What'd you think about it? Yeah. That type of shit. And I was just like, I mean, all I can really say is this is a craft that these women have obviously worked really hard to be really good at. That's why they're here. And, they're doing a good job. And, people are, and the thing about drag brunches is it's almost like a strip club. Like, they're not naked, but they may as well be. Like, they're wearing very revealing outfits. See-through shit, like all types of skin is showing, like shit like that. And people are just throwing money. They go up to you, they, open in the, just put it right in there. You know what I'm saying? I did not throw any money. I got money and I gave it to Antoinette to throw. But there was guys in there just ripping open bands, just throwing just hundreds at a time. Like it was lit, man. I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a great time.
You don't have to lie. I'm glad that you had a great time at this drag brunch. I'm glad that you had a great time. Again, like I said, I've never seen anything like it. This just makes me think about MDMA, which is ecstasy. Because I've just been watching this fucking Michael Pollan docuseries, How to Change Your Mind on Netflix. And I just think about this super lit, let's all love each other, have a great time fucking feeling, like rave parties. And I think that if you really get into these drag events, like if you get into that world, we're also just talking about like super gay clubbing out. Like you enter this realm. Exactly. So I imagine that it's a really great feeling for a lot of these people, having a ton of mimosas, eating good food. There's also just something in expressing yourself.
Yeah.
I told it to G. Celie and Mo when they were here with us. I do not diminish the value that this podcast has brought to me simply in terms of me expressing myself and like what I feel like that has done for me and you over the course of these last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I feel like just being able to go out.
Damn. Last couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. The last couple of years we've been doing this.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while. Wow. Like just to hear you say last couple of years, like it's really wow.
So I feel like having people be able to go out and wear all this, revealing stuff. I don't have the answers for everything, but I do think that I certainly do have an affinity towards nakedness. Meaning I'm okay with it. I'm okay with other people being naked. Like I don't really, and there are other places in the world where it's much more accepted. Yeah. So if it truly isn't some trans hate from political groups and political ideologies that want to suppress them being able to do brunches like this and hang out and all that sort of stuff, if it isn't that and it's about just anything provocative, just being out on the streets, so just for people to be able to look at and see at an easy glance, that part would make a whole lot more sense to me if it was that way, right? But even then, I think that it's about the way that we raise our children and when we adopt ideas, because the body's the body. Like it you know what I mean? I know it gets weird when you talk about children, like at what age should children be okay with other bodies and us be okay being around other children, because we also have a bunch of creepy ass people that are preying on these other people. I didn't get to see that movie Prey yet, by the way, but I'm going to watch it.
I figured you weren't going to watch it.
But it did look really good. I did look at the trailer, and it does look really, really good.
It is good.
I do like it being set back however fucking long it is.
Yeah, no, that definitely plays a good part.
But there are people actually praying, so it does get weird. It's like, yeah, sure, you want to free the nipple, and you want to free the vagina, you want to free all these things and just let people live, but also there are weird people out there, so there's got to be some sort of balance when it comes to.
Would you do a nude beach?
Oh yeah,
because Miami is definitely a spot where people just get naked on the beach.
That matters to me none. I would if there was a beach. Well, that doesn't matter to me at all in the slightest. You know what's funny is I'm going to try to get this person on the pod too at some point in time. They'll do it. Sequoia. And I went.
I was like, "Who's that?"
I went out for breakfast with her a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, and she asked me she didn't ask me a question. That was maybe what was more interesting about it. Is she was saying that she felt like, as she listens to the pod, she hears me speak about certain things, and it seems like there's some sort of equanimity or alignment no matter what's going on externally. Like there's a bunch of wild shit going on. Oh, you want me to fit? Don't worry. I got you. A
little bit of ice.
Bartender, I got you.
Oh, yeah. It's the bag's already over there.
Yeah, I am the bartender.
Has anyone noticed that like we just drink on pods now?
Probably. Probably just only because the content has gotten worse. Don't just. I don't know.
I hope not.
No, I don't fucking know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a whole block. Here, break some of this block up and put it in your cup.
Damn.
Nice. Damn. What the fuck was I talking about? People. You have any idea? No. You lost it.
Yeah, I'm focused on
much more concerned with getting ice out of a cup.
Yeah. Come on, Earl. You're good at this. Bring us back. Bring us back.
What is this?
Bringing us back.
I don't know where we're at. She asked me at breakfast that with this equanimity and this sense of peace around all this sort of external shit that seems to happen in my life and the world, there seems to be, again, some sense of peace that centers all of it. Like I'm not completely fucked up by everything that happens. Yes.
Less than the first time.
Yeah, sure.
That's good. That's good.
And she didn't really even have a question. She just said, I'm just curious. Like, I'm just curious. And I completely understood the curiosity because I had to think about it. these are things that I feel like should be talked about, because I brought up on the podcast that my mom died, right? Yeah. And it kind of came abruptly.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
But to me, again, this was a part of that whole conversation, was the more and more you do something, the easier it gets to do that thing. It doesn't really matter what it is. Mm-hmm. And for me, with this podcast, with expressing myself, the same way I feel like people should go out and be able to dance and do whatever the fuck they want to do, is I get very okay talking about things and processing ideas. Like, it's a part of my life. Mm-hmm. It's a big part of my life. And I just speak to people more than most people.
Right.
About truthful things that fucking matter. So I speak about things, and it gets deep. Often. Not necessarily on purpose, but just because that's just the fucking way that it goes. What do you have to say?
No, I was going to ask, is she enjoying the pods?
She's enjoying the pods. Yeah, she's enjoying the pods.
Cool.
But the point is that I realized at a point it was just life was about perspective, right? And it was one of these anchors that I talk about, these anchors of ideas into your soul that just through time, through experiences, you add more weight onto them. And slowly but surely, they become more of who you are through time, these understandings of these certain things. And for me, death is something that's very hard for people. I talk about it all the time. I think about it, enough to just know that it's something that happens. We're all going.
Is it not hard for you though?
It hasn't been yet.
Okay.
So I'm still waiting. I'm still I'll still be, I'm still open to it being a thing at a point in time. Uh-huh. I don't see it happening. It's something that I have established within myself, that we come, that we go, that I share the moments with the people that I care about holistically, presently.
Yeah.
I've made peace with all that stuff. So when people go, they like
I think it has a lot to do with the fact, cause I've crazy as it sounds, I've been waiting for something like this to happen to you.
You've spoken to me about this before.
I've been waiting for something like this to happen to you just to see how you would process it.
Yes.
And I think that the two most recent deaths in your family, one being your grandma, was, I want to say, natural. And one being your mom, natural due to the circumstances.
Yeah.
But I think that, I don't know, if it's something a little more tragic, maybe it affects you differently. You know what I'm saying? Cause sure, people die all the time. And
tragic, it's because what you're saying is being robbed of life before life should be taken, is what you're saying. I could see that more as from my grandma's point of view, because she was like fucking 173 years old. But you're talking about my mom being whatever age she was.
No, I'm not talking about that, because your mom was your mom, and we.
So you mean it needs to be someone that's closer?
Well, not even, listen. So my cousin,
yes,
the way that he went out,
yeah,
suicide, real crazy, very traumatic. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit, it just hits differently. You know what I'm saying? And death is something that I'm not going to say that I've partnered with it to your extent, but I just feel like it's when something like that happens, where it's just kind of like maybe out of nowhere and it's very traumatic. Just how it all led up to this moment.
Well, again, it would have to be traumatic for a certain set of reasons.
Yeah.
Like you and I can look at the exact same thing and me be completely okay with it, and it traumatizes you. Uh-huh. So that would depend on what it is going on, which is why when I'm having this conversation with this friend, I can't give them every bit of my life that has led up to this point, all the decisions I've made, all the conversations I decided to have, all of the psychedelic experiences I decided to deeply observe within, all the books that I've read, all the poems I've recited, all the poems I've written, all the paintings I've done, all the music I've written, all these types of things, all these different avenues towards trying to figure out where the fuck I am. There's a friend of mine right now that's trying to figure life out. And I know exactly what it looks like. They're trying to figure out where they sit in the world, how they should navigate it, who they should be, who to call on for answers. And they're just going to shamans and having like random people in fucking huts telling them, oh, I'm speaking to the angels. The angels are saying this. You should do this. This person's your soulmate. You actually signed a soul contract before you came into this world with this person, and this person and you, they're meant to be soulmates, but that doesn't mean that you stick together forever. It just means that you're intertwined for the remainder of your life here, for however many eons that your particles stick around, because you know energy can never be created nor destroyed. So you're getting into all this ridiculous metaphysical shit that none of these people actually understand. Mm-hmm. And if you take someone that's vulnerable and doesn't quite, like, they're looking for something, they're hopeful and they're looking for some way out. They know that there's something deeper to connect to, but they don't know exactly how to get there, where to start, who to listen to, who's worthy, who's trustworthy, who's a lying piece of shit and is just using all these buzzwords to get ahead in life and sell some books or fucking podcasts or some tours out somewhere. And so you don't know, but it is, at the end of the day, perception. Mm-hmm. It is going through these steps every day to try to figure out who you are and how you are to be doing these things. So I can't just bestow to you my view on things.
Right.
Again, I'm open to things happening in the future, but I can't bestow to you the level of overwhelmingly known okayness inside of my being. Mm. That, because when you get outside of us really being the center of the universe, which we are not this earth, and not us as the little ass organisms on the earth. Mm. We enjoy ourselves. We come here, we learn some shit, we build some shit, we share some shit, we die. It continues to happen over and over and over again. But when you just look at yourself and your impermanence and your trivialities of life, your absurdities, the minutia of the human life, as well as the beauty of it at the same time, because they can coexist.
Right.
The weight just sinks further and further down into your soul. Further and further down. At some point, if you think about it enough and you have conversations about it enough, again, truth is something that I deal with. I don't try to stray away from conversations with myself or with other people. And when you do that, you get down to shit. And like what matters and what happens. If so-and-so decides to leave this planet in this physical form that is close to me, whoever that person is, hypothetically speaking, that is a decision. And this is my brain process. Again, that is a decision that they decided to make. They no longer wanted to be here. Mm-hmm. It is not my prerogative for them to be here. That's not my choice. I still have to remain here and live and do things. And again, this is one of my biggest things as far as cogs in the wheel of perception for me. I do not condition myself to think in terms of deficit, meaning I don't have this. It would be really cool if this person was here in my life right now. It'd be really cool if I was over there instead of here. Well, if I had it, it's just who is in front of me? What do I have? So I'm not, so somebody will lose someone, right? Let's think about this. Let's say you have an estranged person in your life, a friend, family member, something like that. You guys don't really speak at all. Meaning you don't really know the updated version of that person. You don't really know them. Mm-hmm. That person dies. Now you sad. They were never there to begin with. They weren't in your life to begin with. Like all the moments where they weren't physically in front of you, they weren't there. You were doing something else. You had your boss in front of you or your daughter in front of you instead, or a fucking spreadsheet in front of you that you had to fill out by the end of the day. You had something else going on. They weren't there. So them being dead and them being alive is almost the same. Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead. I think that when someone makes that.
Well, hold on, because I need to finish this because I just landed on almost the same, and people are going to be like, "So you're saying it doesn't matter if people are alive or dead?" So I need to finish that up because people are going to think that was a crazy way to end off. It just means that when things are not in front of you, they're not there, and so you take them for granted when they come back around. But the point is that you shouldn't be doing that. And that every moment you share with someone should be like it's going to be your last time with them. You don't know. You want to give them that sort of attention. We don't always succeed at it, but you want to try to give them your time and your attention because you don't know if they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
But if you think about those types of things, then again, you have the conversations that one, clear the air between you, meaning, I don't hate you. So therefore, if you leave this house and you die for any reason, I know that you didn't leave here thinking there was anything wrong between us. That could have never been the case. So I don't have that weighing on me. And I've already been through the process of people come and they go. We're all going to go. I don't think that I'm not so self-important where, like, if I was leaving, if I was transitioning out of this world in this physical form I'm in right now, that it would be the biggest deal. We come. I don't know if that's going to be any better or any worse. It could just be a rest. It could be me being reincarnated as something else for my 700th life. It could be it could be like what it was before I was born, which I don't fucking remember what that was. Right? It could just be that peaceful, meaning there's nothing happening because I don't remember what that was like.
Yeah.
I don't have those ideas. Yeah. I don't fucking know. But so that's where I'll end it on that. I'm just saying there is because people think about this. It's the way that we interact with death here. You don't have to, just like seeing naked bodies growing up. You don't have to just see clothed people, and then if you see a boob, that person's a fucking slut, whore, witch person that needs to be, burned at the stake or being stoned to death. Right? If you don't grow up that way, it's just like, oh, that's a human being and that's a body right there, right? That it's just the way that you grow up learning things. So it's the same exact thing over here. You could just learn about death being a natural process of life, and you wouldn't look at it as traumatically as a lot of us do here. You wouldn't have that same attachment. You would just say, yeah, they're gonna go when they go, and when they do, maybe we're gonna celebrate them, or maybe we're not. We're gonna continue on, but you would just look at it through a completely different lens. There are people that literally are like death shamans. They see people go, just like you have doulas that bring people into the earth. They have people that bring them to sleep,
right?
Because they just look at it like it's not a huge fucking like, oh my God, no, like so there. Either you believe in religion and they're resting and they're in a better place anyway, which so I don't understand why you would be upset about that, or there's just nothing and their consciousness has been zapped and there's nothing, there are no remains of them, which is fine because again, it was like before you were born. And so it's not like you're dealing with any pain or anything. There's just nothing, none of the lights are on, like nothing is happening. There's no sensation whatsoever. Like there are a bunch of different things, but unless you believe in everyone going to like a hell where for some reason we still have like bodily sensations and are going to be burning for eternity, which I don't see that being the case. I think it's a story to incentivize people to do other things, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Unless you believe in that being the thing, I don't really see why it's such a bad thing as far as the actual transitioning. Okay, I don't want this to come off as though people think that I'm a murderous son of a bitch. Like I'm not saying that. I just as the actual act of passing, not murdering people.
Right.
I feel like I have to be very, very close with my words right now because this may be a little shaky for certain people because they haven't conceptualized it this way. But that's where I stand. Again, I'm open. We'll see what happens in the future when people continue to pass.
I got you.
We shall see what happens. It gets very interesting. But perspective has always been, I've always been interested in like a transition in state of mind, right? So imagine like you're sad for whatever reason being, like, so you're young and your parents wouldn't allow you to get the fucking new game that you wanted or something like that. And then the next day, like you go to sleep, you cry yourself to sleep. You're fucking upset. Like all your other friends are going to have this game, but you don't have this game. And so you go to sleep, you're really fucking upset. It means the world to you. You're a kid. There's nothing else that matters except for this game. You go to sleep, but you wake up. And when you wake up, there's kind of not so much as big of a deal as when you went to sleep and it's sunny out and the parents are going to take you out for Sundays and it's a good time. Maybe your friends are going to be there. It's a much better time. So at a young age, because I dealt with dumb shit like that, as we all do.
For sure.
I realized that you can just be different people and your whole perspective can be completely different depending upon if you have a cone of ice cream in your hand or you didn't get this game system that you wanted, that you told your parents you wanted, or you fell in love for the very first time, or you got your heart broken for the very first time. All these sorts of, or you smoked weed or drank for the very first time. All these things play with these neurochemicals and make you a whole different person, make you feel so different about the world and the way that you're viewing it at the moment. And I've always been like kind of aware of that. And then more so as time went on, I'm like, wow, we can be all different sorts of like people through time. All these varying circumstances that change how we feel at any given point in time in the day, let alone like a week or a year, just the day. And so I thought, well, if that's the case, then how do I hack that? Like there's got to be a way to build practices or build things that can change my perspective. Because if there's a capability of mine to be in a happy or holistic state where maybe I'm not, again, joyful, like it's not that, but I'm at peace. Like I feel okay about whatever's going on. I know that the dumb person, the dumb thing that this person did was just, they were working off the software they had at the moment. They were working with the information they had. They made a terrible decision. That doesn't bother me anymore. I realized that this person said this mean or hurtful thing to me, but I also realize that they're in a hurt place themselves and that they don't understand the full scope of the whole situation. So they're trying to make me feel bad because misery loves company. They want to know that I care. And the only way that they can know that I care is if they hurt me, because then that shows my emotional investment in them and what they have to say. Right. So you start to learn these things about people and your perspective about life changes.
Right.
You're like, oh, people are just people. And they're just going to make these little fuck ups and hiccups and disasters happen. And that's just what they could do at the moment. Like things just sort of slowly start to spread out and calm down. And you can see things for what they are. But I realized that it was all perspective though. So if you can hack that and you can figure out practices that put you in a better state of mind, then you can live in heaven on earth. Like you can actually figure that out.
Yeah. So
this is the answer somewhat of me going back to this friend that I went out to breakfast with. But that's really all it is. It's this, and you bring up this death thing, is it's perspective. It's something that you can hack. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it is something you can think about and have real inner conversation, inner dialogue about, or external dialogue with people that you trust and have actual insight into things and give a fuck about something. Like you can actually have those conversations and hack that part of your mind and realize, you can curate the type of images that come into your mind and how and what that exhibits to you, what that divulges to you about life. Like you can actually hack into that mainframe, that information, and you can rewire it, but it takes a lot of honesty. So that's the kind of the point that I'm getting at when I talk about all of these sorts of things that rattle and shake a lot of people. And I completely get it. It ought to, I think, without the necessary training. I think that would happen 10 times out of 10. So, or I guess I should say 9 times out of 10. But yes, yeah. So that's my idea on that. But I'm willing, and I'm ready. And I understand everyone grieves differently.
Yeah. I grieve different.
Yeah, and they process information differently. And And again, the circumstances in which the way some tragedies happen matter.
Yeah.
I get all of that.
I don't know. I think for my specific situation, when I'm talking about my cousin, it just leaves a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of why, a lot of how. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
okay.
Because it's like
how did you get down that, far enough down that road?
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or at least without anyone noticing, or were we just all oblivious?
Well, that's why I don't ask these questions, because I think to some degree I have the answers. You don't have to have the specific answers, but there are answers, such as if this person did that, 1, they no longer wanted to be here. 2, they probably got there from not one night. It was probably
for sure
a series of moments that got them to that point. There are mad questions that I ask about human beings all the time. Not because I have the panacea to all ailments and illnesses that can happen. Panacea?
What does that mean?
Like a one drop fits all, fixes all type of medicine.
Gotcha.
So it's like Pangea, what they thought the world was before. Pansexual, so that means all. So panacea.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, so the thing is, okay. This is where my understanding of humans kind of goes. People would do things in front of me, and it's something I would never do. But when I see them be mean to someone, or do anything that is sort of ignoble, be mean to someone, discourage someone for no reason, lie maybe for personal gain, or to again mask truth so that you can hide away in lies and deception and remain comfortable, whatever it is. Immediately with that, they're not a ton of questions that pop up in my mind, as opposed in terms of what are they going through. This is what I do know. I know that I don't know the specifications of what that human being is going through, but I can tell you of quite a few things about that person. There's probably a very good chance that they do not expel a ton of energy through exercise. They probably don't stretch a ton, right? Because I'm thinking about tension within the muscles that build up and give strain and stress on the mind that you're not even thinking about, because it's a part of the body, and people for some reason do not correlate the mind and the body still in 2022, which is the weirdest thing, right? They probably don't have super in-depth, meaningful, vulnerable, cathartic conversations with people that can do that.
Right.
They probably don't find themselves doing something on a daily basis that they lose themselves in. That is just so meaningful that even for an hour to a day, they can completely lose themselves in doing this thing in some sort of flow state, right? There's just certain things that you can start to generalize kind of about people that are in certain spaces in life. Like when I start hearing people talk about how niggas ain't shit, or bitches ain't shit, or white people ain't shit, or black people ain't shit, I can automatically make confirmations about these people, which is you don't hang around with enough of the other type of person that you're saying fuck them, that have broader views than what you think that this hypothetical demographic of people you're talking about actually have, right? I can automatically start listing off things that I know you don't do or have in your life. If you're on Twitter and you're just talking shit about a bunch of people, there's a good chance you don't have things in your life that you are dynamically participatory.
I often unfollow people on social media that be on that type of shit. I unfollowed somebody today and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just tired of seeing this shit from this person. Unfollow.
So again, I'm lightly speaking on your situation, but in a broader sense, it's the questions for me. No, I don't have the specifications. I'll never have them. So automatically that drops out of my list of cares, because I don't deal with things that I can't control. Mm-hmm. That's one huge thing. If I can't control it, I'm not sweating going to sleep thinking about it. Mm-hmm. I'm just not. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I have things that I can control. I need to go figure those fucking things out, period. Those are difficult enough for human beings, let alone the things that you can't do anything about.
That's a good point.
So that's one. And then again, the questions, it's a mixture of all those things. They were sad. Yes. Did they lost hope? Yes. Did they try to reach out for help? Most likely at some point in time, were we able to detect what it looked like when they did that? No, because sometimes someone reaching out isn't like what we think someone reaching out would look like. Mm-hmm. So it's not that. Did we read certain things that were obvious incorrectly, or not come to this person's aid or talk about it because we felt it would be awkward? For sure. All these answers, like, they're mostly yeses. Like like everyone missed the ball or dropped the ball on various occasions all the time. And so that's sort of how it would be like for me. If someone, I'm thinking about a specific person right now, if they decided they wanted to leave, it's not my prerogative. That's not my life. They're able to do with it as they please. Some people think it's selfish. Sure, that's up for debate, but it's their life, though, at the end of the day. They don't need to live for anyone else. That gets a little tricky when you get into children and stuff like that. Then we're having a slightly different conversation. But yeah, I'm certain that it was a mix of a lot of things that took place. Yeah. Them crying out for help, us not detecting it or feeling awkward, so not ever having it. Yeah, a ton of things, not knowing how to deal with it. Yeah, just a ton of things like that. But I just, but again, that is the nature of life, and it's the nature of the life that we've been building for ourselves as human beings. I get it. I do, because we try to rationalize ideas. This is me speaking on a rational tangent. There's also a ton of shit I don't fucking know. And which is why I think it is important to be in touch with some sort of spiritual side of yourself, or some, in your emotions as well, because there could be a much deeper reason, and I'm certain there is, as to why I respond to things the way that I do. It could be because there is maybe some form of reincarnation, and I've lived a few lives and I've seen this happen a few times. And I'm like, yeah, like this is kind of how life goes. But for whatever it is, along with the work and nurturing that has been put into this lifetime of mine, age 31's looking pretty good. Age 31's looking pretty healthy. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, like all this sort of stuff. Like I'm looking at things pretty well. I'm keeping up with healthy practices. I'm not stuck in ruts and turmoil and wondering what I could have done, what I should have done, what I should have said, and that doesn't happen.
Right.
I just keep moving. And when people go, or they decide to go, then that was their decision, and I continue to move and spend my time with the people that are here while they're here, while I'm here, and I just keep moving. It's honestly something I don't really feel like can be explained. Perception is so tricky. It's so layered. It's literally what you are doing every day that makes you who you are. Mm-hmm. The things that you're doing every day. I can't just describe what I've been doing for the past 10 years, but it's been intense. There's been intense shit that I've been doing for fucking 10 years. So I feel very, very peaceful with life and the way that things go. I feel very, very cool at the age of 31. Very, very cool. And I'm very excited to get to 41 and 51 and 61 and see what the fuck that guy's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect it.
That's what I got on there. So what have I spoken about? I'm talking about Polo, death, and
this pod is all over the place.
And a guy hitting on me at the gym. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Shout out to you for all the meets, all the meats that Keon is slanging around here. The pate was really cool. Again, I learned a lot about that it is cooked, so you can just eat it what looks like it's raw out of the package.
Yeah. It's cooked beef liver.
Right, but sometimes with things added, like pork added.
Yeah.
Which again, I said I'm just not a big fan of because pigs are just not living rich lives.
That's why I brought you the beef sausage with the lamb casing.
You got the beef lamb casing. Okay, yes.
Lamb fat casing.
Again, a lot of interesting herbs and stuff put inside the pate: celery powder, cardamom, nutmeg, cloves. Like a lot of interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, the recipes are handpicked. Yeah, it's not just some shit a nigga Googled or like they're handpicked.
It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
Again, I had that with the shaved steak that kind of looks like bacon, but it's just real thin, so it cooks really easily, very quickly.
Yes, it does.
You got to be aware of that. Yes. The shaved steak cooks very quickly.
Yes, it does.
But having that with some eggs, avocado, the pate, that was really good. The New York strip, which I used for a salad I told you about, that had fruits and vegetables and nuts and all sorts of, in a poppy seed dressing that went in there. That was delicious. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get into the ribeyes. The pastrami.
Do it.
But yeah, no, I mean, shout out to you. Again, this is insane. The amount of all the pounds of meat that you are slanging around, throwing at people now. It's crazy though. It's so much. And what's funny is I haven't been eating meat as heavily, but I am now. And it's
because it's free.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely does cost, but it's also something I didn't make it wasn't an objective. Like I didn't have to be eating a ton of meat, but along with my exercise regimen changing through life and it being more about sustainability, it's a lot about cardiovascular. It's about stretching. It is about strength, but not trying to put too much stress on all my joints and bones and things like that. With all the different evolution of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a little bit of red meat here and there, throwing that in some stuff and some nice,
It's there, man. Just freeze it. Use it whenever you want.
Yeah. So shout out to you for that.
All you got to do, if you don't, just tell me to stop. I won't bring it. If you don't want it, I won't bring it.
I'm sorry if I seemed as though I was inappreciative when you came here with the bag. It was a lot of stuff, and you have to understand this is still weighing on me how much you're able to have. It's a lot of food.
The plug.
Yes. Yeah. You sending any snaps to people recently with your shirt off?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not even on Snapchat.
No, yeah. Anyway, is there anything important that where are we at? We about an hour and a half in. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
No, but I do want to say
yes.
Shout out to Catherine the Goat.
Catherine the Goat. Shout out to Catherine the Goat. She knows who she is. Yes.
Thanks for being a listener. I really appreciate it. Well, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I enjoy people listening to the podcast and just talking to me about all the different elements as to why they like it. Like, oh, I love just the jokes here. Maybe this one is just really fucking deep podcast where some people have come up to me and they're just like, favorite episode is when Keon cried easily. They were just like, that was just like, and then y'all just cut the episode at the end. Like they were like, that was the one. Like that was the one.
I was thinking about that pod the other day. And still like I had a slight bit of anxiety about like, oh God, what do people think about that?
Oh, that's funny.
And then it died off very quickly because I'm like, nigga, that pod was like 50 episodes ago. It's over. It's done. It happened, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's funny. People have already.
But it's again one of those moments that connects us all as humans. Like that's the real.
That's really some people's favorite episode.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we've done 130. This would be 132. But like, bro, yeah, that's
crazy.
Yeah, man. Listen, bro. Again,
just raw emotion.
Again, I can't speak to everything that got me to being this person, but there's something I've just clearly just an expressive at my core. I came into this world, and good thing I was born in a country where there was free speech. Free speech, quote unquote, these days is weird. Yeah. But free speech. I don't know what I would have done outside of it. Like I would have had to, have stuck with one of the other domains one of the other disciplines that I used to try, like photography or painting or, guitar. Like I would have had to stuck with one of those and even those would have been difficult because it would have still been my ideas, but just placed on a canvas or on a song or something like that. So I have to, I'm just speaking the truth. Like to me, it doesn't matter. So when you talk about these things, it's so weird to me that we live in a world where the things that are truthful are like hidden, or people don't want to talk about them. Or like, it's really weird to me. That is the truth. Mm-hmm. When I started doing psychedelic drugs and I started stepping into these other realms where shit was just truthful, it was just like what it was. It was no longer the narrative or the layer, the filter that I put on it through all the conditioning that I had growing up as a person, right? It was just like all that shit was lifted, and it was just, this is a person in front of you that's smoking crack right now. That's all they are. They're just a human being, and they're smoking crack. They're not like, again, there's some nasty, evil, decrepit human that just smokes crack and they're going to steal everything from you. It was just like a human.
This is in Tampa,
and
right?
And he just happens to be smoking crack, or whatever the case is.
It just happens.
He's just smoking crack.
Could have smoked anything.
Or today could be the last day that he smokes it. It could be that. Like, I don't know. Most likely not, but it could be.
Likely not.
But what I'm saying is, all those narratives, those stories that you tell yourself about things that have been indoctrinated into your psyche from fucking Dare back in the day, or your parents, or whatever fucking propaganda or media that you've seen growing up, like all that shit lifts. If you didn't like black people, that shit lifts. If you didn't like, well, at least for me, if you didn't like white people, if you didn't like this type of person, this type of person that has this idea or wears this thing or chants for this football team instead of your football team, whatever it is, all that shit lifts. It's gone. And you're just looking around at people and things. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, fuck, we're all the same. Like, that's just what happens. Oh, we're all the same.
A lot of people can't lift that veil.
Well, that's why I said the psychedelic drug. It's easier when you just take a shortcut. Sometimes like that shortcut happens. But what I'm saying is, you can, because I want to speak to the people and just saying that it's just weird that we try to hide the things that we are. We, like you said when we were talking to G Salite, like we all have trauma, we all have all these things going on, but we try to act like we don't. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just what it is. So for me, for a long time, and definitely through the podcast, I was a lot of me before this, but definitely through the podcast. I think if it's true, I'm saying it. If it's true, I'm saying it, because what else am I supposed to say? Am I going to consciously lie so that I can make people that are listening happier? Fuck that. No, it'll never happen. I will never just get on here and just say things that people like, knowing that I think something completely different or I feel something completely. It's not going to happen. Yeah. Y'all can just stop listening. Yeah. I will easily take people stop listening over me just telling people what they want to hear, because maybe we're in an age where saying this thing isn't cool, or questioning this ideology is going against the grain. I'm not going to do those things. Like, I'm just going to speak what seems to be true, because I think that's the most important thing that we have. It's like literally at the base of everything. Mm-hmm. We pile a bunch of bullshit on top of it, but at the base, there is just a truth. Mm-hmm. There is just a series of things that are happening. And that's what I like. So when you talk about this thing, I understand and I completely appreciate and value who you are, even if that is encased within anxiety about speaking about things that you feel about your family or whatever the case is. But I love that you're working through that through this podcast and through other things in your life. I'm certain with your fiance. For me, this is all that's coming. Like, it just makes sense. We're going to be here, and in a blink of an eye, because I've been experiencing this recently, how just quickly days go. They just go and they go and they go. At some point, you and I are gone.
And you don't get them back.
At some point, we're gone. We think about it. High school wasn't that long ago. We can think about high school. It wasn't that long ago, but guess what? It was. For you, it was like 12 years. For me, it was 11.
I remember them hallways.
That just happened. That was just then. We were kids riding on bikes before that, having a good time. We were kids just at fucking birthday dinners or birthday parties, just eating cake, playing fucking pin the tail on the donkey before that. And before that, we were being fucking cradled in our mom's arms. You know, like that was, we were just there. And now we 31, 32. You know what I'm saying? You got a fucking kid. We doing podcasts talking about our feelings and shit. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to be gone at a point in time. We don't have time to be sitting around lying, talking untruths, talking about shit that doesn't matter. Like, what are we doing here? We're going to die. We might as well just fucking do what we want to do. Talk about the things that matter. We're going to die. We're done. We're going. We're going. We're all going. So we're all going. So we should just be real until we're gone. Like it makes no sense for me to be otherwise.
I feel it.
Those are my last words for the people. Those are my last words. I'm done. I swear to God, I'm done. Episode 132. Man, I wonder how this is going to be taken by the people. This was quite a one. This was quite an episode. Whoo! We're going to lose some listeners off that one. All right, everybody. Peace.